Well, welcome back to News Game Plus. I'm Dermy as usual, and I'm here with a man who only visits Australia to record this podcast, as far as I can tell. New Game Plus executive producer Jason Callahan.
And to be fair, I would like it on the record that for this one, the reason that we haven't done them is actually not me for once. Do I get off the hook on that one at least? Surely.
I cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been a little bit busy doing stuff, and one of the things I've been doing lots of is doing some prep for the Game Expo coming up in a couple of weeks.
Which is very good.
Everybody should get on that. That's going to be awesome. And I've been filling out the page full of all the special guests, and there's some good shit there.
Yeah, we've that was more my domain this year. So myself and Dan organised User Kashiro and Ali Mobs and a few other people. John Casdell, the Marvel guests as well. So we got Marvel.
See, that
Marvel
wasn't a
guests.
setup. I didn't know you organised that. That was not a setup.
No. I
Good
figured,
guess.
because you're not in those meetings either. But neither am I. I hate meetings, so I just do the work. But no, it's been an interesting thing. Like I was up in Sydney last week for Star Citizen, so that was interesting
Yes,
as well.
I see you with Chris Roberts.
Yes, Chris Roberts.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
And then so that was that, and then I came back for Glitch last night, and then I fly out to Tokyo at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So
my dead friend in America, Derek's listening to this. Yes, Jason, he met Chris Roberts.
Yeah.
Your favorite person.
And look, and because it is like obviously they're not silly. They understand the perceptions. They understand all that kind of stuff.
Did you make it out with your wallet intact?
I don't know, man. Like he was a nice enough bloke. I don't know. I guess
I'd be nice too if I had that much money selling JPEGs, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the game exists now. You can
actually, one of my brother-in-laws, brother-in-law by marriage, not one of the ones that brothers of my wife.
Yeah.
But anyway, one of the extended family on my wife's side plays it a lot and does swear by it and reckons it's really good.
So it is that thing. Like it is, like
you got a lot of money though.
Yeah. Well, but that was the conversation with them. Not that I'm doing a PR campaign. Technically, we were doing a PR campaign for them, but one of the things that came up a lot was, so you think of like Starfield, right? Where it's like, and we all know my thoughts on Starfield. You land on a planet, it's a cutscene. You land and you're walking a door, it's a cut. It's Oblivion, but in space, right? Whereas this is literally seamless now. Like they've got to the point now where it's literally from space into thing, proc gen. I guess a lot of the push around. What's that one? No Man's Sky would have helped with that.
No Man's Sky is a good game.
Yeah, well, but it's a good game now. You know what I mean? And to be fair to him, he was complimentary about all those other games. Like obviously I listened to however many interviews he did that day, and he was complimentary about No Man's Sky and very candid about
Elite Dangerous. Any mention of that?
I don't think anyone talks about Elite Dangerous anymore.
Yeah, because I actually Elite Dangerous because they ditched the console version of Elite Dangerous.
They
got
stupid
with the Thargoids.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of giving
the Farquads. Is that what they're called?
Thargoids. I
Okay.
mumble. The Farquads.
Farquads.
Yeah, some of you are going to die, but it's a price I'm willing to pay. I've been tempted to give Star Citizen a try because Elite Dangerous kind of killed itself. It did a Microsoft. We'll get to that later.
Jesus Christ. It's got to be said, like looking at the clips, and obviously I was editing a few for the thing and stuff like that. I feel like it's one of those games where you could do the whole machinima thing. I feel like it's the chance to do the resurgence of that machinima style in world how do I say it? Like you can tell stories inside the world because it is so expansive, because it is so whatever. And I don't know. I feel like, look, I don't know. The one thing I picked up was the passion was there. If nothing else, like he definitely just wants to make a good game, and I'm like, you can get behind it. At least it's like now that we've navigated the the vagaries of Kickstarter. I don't know. It looks like it's pretty much done, and I know they've got a single player expansion coming out later this year because we've got to have another talk with them later this year, and then off to Tokyo as I mentioned for Bit Summit and stuff. So we've got meetings with the Bit Summit guys and a few other people, and so it's been busy time.
Last year,
it's nice to be home. It must be said.
Weren't we judging games on Bit Summit last year? Or not?
Yes,
Not that?
No. I mean, basically, it has to be a public
Is that
facing
a secret?
process. It has to be a public facing process, and we have to look at it again this year. And I'll make sure I get into it early so I can be on the judging panel. But I think if I'm working for them, like I say, I do have some morals. I do recuse myself. I don't. let's say Star Citizen, for example, right? Having worked with them on a project, I would never review it. I would never give an editorial opinion or one that I consider will
Oh,
not
I'll
be
play it and give it a
compromised.
review.
Sure, and that, I mean, that's the beauty of my editorial
I've
style.
never
Is
met
like,
Chris Roberts.
yeah. Well, but that's, I mean, that's my editorial style. When have I ever really told you guys
Then again,
not
I
to
have
do it?
met who's the guy that did Deus Ex again?
Warren Ellis,
Warren Spector.
Warren Spector.
Yeah, no. So I did meet him, but I do want to nominate that for my game of the year every year.
Warren Spector
He was
is
really nice.
Yeah, look, Warren Spector's a nice bloke, and he always puts a basketball court in and all those kind of things.
He was
But
curious about how they'd match him up, and now
yeah,
he'll never know.
yeah,
He wanted to know how they were going to join Human
join the
Revolution
universes,
to his game.
yeah,
Poor guy's left hanging. He's
yeah.
older than me. He may
Yeah.
not see it either.
Well, that's, I mean, look, that's the dating conversation at the moment, right? Like,
Wait, what?
it's, no, like I've had this conversation with a few girls recently, and I'll be like,
Or I might die before I date.
they'll be there.
You're not as old as me.
they'll
That's
be
the
there.
people my genre.
There's some going on at the moment. All the early 30s men must be fucked because the early 30s girls are shooting for the older hoops. Like I was in Sydney.
Kids have got money.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't mean that disrespectfully, but
you've got the resources. It's fine. Yeah,
it is a thing.
I understand, Mr. Peterson. You just got to do it in your Kermit accent next time.
Well, you cleaned your room, so yeah, you've been
I
on the Jordan Peterson, haven't you?
Apparently. And now you should see like the lobsters in the sink. But no, and it really does chatting to them about it, and you talk about stuff and you talk about future plans, stuff like that. I'm just gonna let you know, right? It's that thing of, let's say we were together 15 years, right? And you're 31, 32 now. You were together 15 years. You could still be hot 47-year-old mama. I'm literally 56 at that point, 57 at that point. How do you feel at 56, 57?
Me,
Yeah.
tired, old, and sore.
Right. So that's what I said. So it's like, so it is that conversation of like, I'm okay. Like, you don't have to. I don't want you as a nurse in a purse, right? I don't want you to be like follow me into the grave kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but you do need a carer, so I wouldn't count out all the options.
Well, hey, Thailand's still open.
Find someone with a medical experience, like a nurse or something. You're gonna need that.
It's got to be funny that as One Nation's audience, because we're doing politics, we don't usually discuss politics, but we are going to do a little bit.
Oh, really? Well, we don't have time to. I got so much stuff here, but anyway.
Yeah. It's funny as Pauline Hanson's audience starts to become Thailand boomers. We're talking less about Asians and more about like Arabs and stuff. Like
she shifts. She started with Aborigines.
Yeah,
she just
that's
goes
true.
whichever way gets a vote.
But yeah, well, that's what I mean is like she can't attack the boomer base who are going off to Thailand and finding a nurse and a person.
That's why I used to have this discussion with my friend. Racism is an important weapon because the people who like to be racist can be directed anywhere.
Yes.
So anyway, it's a mindset.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, do you want to do a
podcast about video games? Sure.
Well, we have
for the first time ever.
I wrote a bit down. I did a fair bit of prep. That's why it took a while to get here. So,
all right.
First one, that's a recent one that everyone's seen. The Xbox. Phil Spencer is finally, he retired effective of like last Monday. When you retire and it's effective within a few days, it's not a retirement.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bill. But, I like you, but you were sacked.
Yeah, and it's so tough when you talk to people about it, right? Because you'll be like, I think he's
free now.
He would have been given a couple of million to walk off into the sunset and be like, look, we have to hang this albatross that we created around someone's neck. Will you be our fall guy?
Yeah, it's a small albatross now. They got rid of Sarah Bond as well. Who I thought that was interesting. They've done a clean out.
I think it was they're cleaning house. The only one who survived is Matt Booty, who is probably look, the less opinions on that the better. And then they brought in an AI chick.
This
another such a Nadella AI hire.
Yes, well, here's her experience. This got gamers upset because here's her experience, right? She was the COO of Instacart.
Hog.
Yep. And then she was a board member of a company in South Korea, an e-commerce company called Coupony or something like that.
Yeah.
So she was a board member there of an e-commerce company. And then she was a board member of Home Depot.
Right.
You notice what you're not seeing so far? You're not hearing a word that starts with G at all, right? Yeah. Then she went to Microsoft and became the president of their core AI division.
Yeah.
And now she finds herself gaming. And it's interesting because on her Twitter responses to people, she's clearly AIing her responses. So she's all in on AI. She said in her announcement she's not all in on AI. They're not going to, but they are.
Yeah.
That's why she was chosen. Also, she magically got a Xbox Live profile about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she's already 100% completed Halo and a couple others. And people worked out that the time she would have required to do that would have been well in excess of 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think we might have a Pilot Wings
Yeah.
situation. Yeah. What other
Yeah.
games you played? What's the name?
The-
I didn't write a name down.
Yeah,
That's just much I
what is
can.
it? It's like
Oh yeah, would you say you played Pilot Wings?
it's like Usher,
And Halo.
Usher something, isn't it? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I proudly said on this podcast a couple of years ago when the PlayStation 5 came out that Sony's dead. That'll be the last one. They were only releasing that to keep up with the Xbox Series X and the S. They had the Microsoft's going to take over, and now here I am sitting here going, Microsoft could not be deader than the dead they are now.
Whoever
Unalived.
whoever decided that the Activision deal was worth $72 billion just needs a slap. Like legitimately, it would have been better to let them go bust than it would have and pick
they could
pick
have
assets. Yeah,
they could have made their own Call of Duty franchise
absolutely,
and put $72 billion into advertising, and they would have got the same number of people playing it.
Agreed. And this is the thing. Like, yeah, WoW's ticking over. Blah 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 blah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I was against the deal from day one. I've never been a Blizzard fan anyway, so like Activision Blizzard fan particularly anyway. So whatever. But yeah,
I might use that as a segue to the other big story.
Yeah,
that I
sounds
was
good.
going to do. But let's just say at this point, they're Microsoft's cactus. I can't see them coming back from this. They're going to AI like mad. You don't hire a person who has no gaming experience but has AI experience. She's got experience building brands,
yes,
which they desperately need. But she's an AI person, and look, people will say, "Oh, you don't need experience in an area." But one of the reasons so many businesses and corporations and stuff right now is they no longer hire from within. They don't
hire the engineers and the people who work. That they hire the MBAs and stuff.
Yeah, Steve Jobs used to be big on that. Yeah. He used to say your engineers are the ones that have the ideas and build the company. Your salespeople get promoted though because they have the numbers
and the confidence and the people skills and all that.
Yeah. So anyway, you got a new person running Microsoft Gaming who has, as far as anyone can tell, up until 3 weeks they never played a video game.
Nice.
So it's going to be interesting.
It's Elon, isn't it? I mean, I know community managers who do that where they get people to play their accounts and stuff. So yeah.
Really? Well, yeah. So some video game hosts do.
I mean, for what it's worth, that's not aimed at me. But
no, it's not. But some do. But anyway, okay. Now let's go. I'm going to use that as because we talked about Bobby Kotick and Activision. We mentioned Bobby Kotick.
Are we discussing Bobby Kotick and the Epstein files next? Or?
We are. So because we haven't done a podcast a while, it's now I did a little bit of looking at this because I got to say. Yeah, you talk about this Activision purchase, and it looks susser and susser by the moment. Anyway, so let's have a look at this. So Bobby Kotick, everyone's favorite gaming CEO, who at one point wanted to buy Amiga off Commodore and release and not have Amiga as a computer, but just have it as a home gaming console. And as much as I think Bobby Kotick might not be the nicest person in the world, it probably would have worked.
Yes.
You'd probably be playing an Amiga console right now if you had done that, if they had let him. But anyway, that's another story. So he was in the Epstein files, and that started a bit of fuss because him and Epstein were discussing gaming. And so I've got a letter here. I'm just going to read, and it was from Epstein to Bobby, May 2, 2013. Now, 2013 might strike as an interesting day considering what happened in 2014. Gaming, right? So, because I've often thought like you got things that might happen like gaming disputes between gamers and everybody, and Me Too movements and things like that. And sometimes they appear to me to be cries for help by people who their lived experience is exactly what they're saying, and everybody else looking in is going, "That's a little bit over the top." Now let's
and then we open the files.
We open the files and find out their lived experience is maybe even worse than what they said. So they discussed gaming. And what's interesting is they discuss gaming as teaching tools.
Yes.
I'll get to you already know where this is going.
I don't know where it's going. So I'll let you tell the people.
Okay. So now he said teaching tool, but not edutainment. Remember edutainment is a big thing because he said edutainment is, quote, is for pussies.
I mean, look, sometimes the broken clock is right twice a day, right? Like,
Okay. This is what Epstein sent to Kotick. Imagine you are looking at a door in a video game. It has some squiggly symbols printed on it. These are his words. I'm not going to
Yeah,
be
I got it.
not
Verbatim,
paraphrasing. Yep.
verbatim. Yep.
Took ages to write down. Little munchkins walk up to that door and say, Konnichiwa. Good on Jeffrey.
Konnichiwa, Dawson.
So he said, the door opens and they are greeted by a hot princess with big tits and a thong. Again, I'm reading. Right?
Hell yeah,
I wanna be
brother.
clear.
The gamer dream.
The
Yeah.
door closes in your face. You are going to fucking learn to read and pronounce kanji. He said, unleash that on fifth grade boys, and the next thing you know, you'll have an entire generation of bilingual kids speaking Japanese. So that was his view of gaming to Bobby Kotick.
Nice. Yeah.
So and he said in another email, he said, we have to keep the boobs and guns for profit. So then there was an email from Kotick to Jeffrey saying, X Prize is a good idea, but the key is real world rewards.
Literally the beginning of microtransactions.
And here we go. Next one. Now, Kotick wasn't in this email chain. Then Epstein wrote to somebody else, I'm all for indoctrinating kids into an economy.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was 2013.
Yeah.
So that was where a lot of people have credited that as how we got into this shithole we are now.
Think of where Gacha is. Think of where gambling ads are. Think of where, yeah.
So this small group of people who were like raping children and potentially eating them. So we're also discussing the future of video games and how. You see, gamers. Okay, let's mention the word, the Gamergate. Remember, and gamers were the target of most sides there for good or bad. You know, but you know what? You had these people here that were actually behind the scenes discussing how to shape the gamers.
Yes, but I mean, and this has been obvious about setting that narrative, and this is the hard part because I think there are people, and look, I'm very much more on the side of, you know, the actual integrity of the journalistic press. But the problem is then then it's like having a conversation about anything. There's always the extremist trying to drag, like even my Instagram feed is trying to drag you down the right wing pipeline. Like you love how it react one, like, you know, breakup meme or something like that, and then suddenly you're getting, you know, put time in the work, put time on in the gym, king, like you deserve better. And I'm like, no one deserves that. Like the amount of people who in 2026 believe in the word soulmate and deserve are insane to me. But and it's all about that pipeline. It's all about getting people.
Yeah, because they were saying we have to. This is Epstein. We have to keep the boobs and guns for profit.
Yeah,
gamers they were talking about basically shaping. Gamers,
which because keep in mind it's a good idea. They were a terminally online community, like they were overrepresented in the online community. They're fierce. They were fierce at contribute. They're likely autistic,
tribal,
and they're autistic. So when they fixate, they fixate, and so they'll go in hard, and they want to make sense of the difficult world around them. I mean, I remember dealing with these conversations at YMCA about this time. You know, it was like, but you know, women are just like, women are like, what? Finish your sentence, like finish your thought. You know what I mean? You'd have to make them go. So you understand how logical it is. It's like saying every man is X. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes, especially when autistic people are young, people set them up with narratives that can help them frame a universe that is scary and has a lot of stimulus that come into it. And it's just about getting to that point early. In the old days, they would have just married him off. Like they would have just got him a nice, easy, simple wife and let him work on the trains or let him work as a carpenter or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they would but with that lack of structure, everyone's trying to find sense in the universe, and people are doing that from a hippy dippy point of view, but they're also doing it from a X equals Y. Everything has to be a sum, and especially when you are dealing with someone who can't handle that sensory over it. It's an easy target to go after.
And everybody has to have a badge.
Yes,
their identities, badge they wear. But yeah, what I found interesting here was there was 2013, and there was about to be a shit show that happened the year later. But you definitely had Bobby Kotick and Jeffrey Epstein and potentially others.
Yeah.
Were discussing how to shape the gaming community and how to shape gaming.
Yeah. I mean, Bannon was all over that early, to be fair to him. Like, he was farming WoW gold, wasn't he?
Well, some other things about what they found out about Epstein from his gaming, from the things. He got kicked off Xbox Live in 2013.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, he got kicked out.
That was part of him getting convicted for things in Florida that he got a very light slap on the wrist for.
He got kicked off for harassment, threats, and or abuse of other players
Yeah.
that was quote severe, repeated, and/or excessive.
Yeah.
Epstein probably with children was abusing.
Well, that was
Can't believe
I
that.
think that was more tied to Microsoft's obligations under his plea deal because he was on the sex
Okay.
offenders register. But yes, I mean, look, you know, Jeffrey Epstein abused children, news at 11, right? Like,
Yeah, he also had a Fortnite account
I
and a
believe
World of
that.
Warcraft account. Now,
Surprisingly, not a Roblox account.
yeah, I was actually you stole my joke. I was going to say he struck me more as a Roblox man.
Fuck off.
So yeah, I always do that to you normally if you got me. Now there's an interesting one about his Fortnite account. Somebody's still playing it.
Yes, I did see that rumor.
Now they put out an official denial.
Full on, right?
But what's interesting is people looked into it and said, but the ID they said, oh, somebody changed their name to Epstein's to play to trick, and they said the ID hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So anyone that knows about that, if the ID doesn't change,
It's definitely the same.
it's the same one. That's just how it works internally in every system in computers.
It's got to be said, and not that I'm going to stick up for the establishment Democrats, right? But like, we are at the point where they were accusing Maria Abramovich of having adrenochrome parties for children. Like, it's a very elaborate story to come out of nowhere. And I mean, is it really just every accusation is a confession at this point? Because
he's doing conspiracy theories. They're normally true at their core, but the
Yes,
details
is
are
what
wrong,
makes
right?
it.
And that's
yeah,
why that's annoying, because the conspiracy theorists come along and they throw in all this other stuff, like the Epstein stuff, right? You go, oh, here's all these videos, and then suddenly the guy doing the Epstein videos you're interested in goes, oh, and also he's actually Andrew Jackson. He's been alive for 300 years, and you go, oh, calm the fuck down.
yeah.
Because this is conspiracy. The fact is, there are conspiracies out there,
Yes.
and I just read those emails. Those emails between Epstein and Bobby Kotick. That's effectively a conspiracy. They were discussing indoctrinating kids into an economy, right? And that had lasting impacts on gaming. And there were probably other people involved, but there are conspiracies. But there's a point where the conspiracies go too far, and that's where you go ease up a bit. But things like Pizzagate was now it looks like it's probably real. But was it that pizza place there? Probably not, right?
Yeah.
Were there rich and powerful people diddling kids?
Apparently, yeah.
Well,
I mean, throughout
would appear so.
throughout history, it would. I mean, that's always been true. But it just
unless you're Pam Bondi or Cash Patel, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
If you're one of those two, the answer is the Dows at 50,000. or check out my girlfriend singing.
That's all it takes. Like it's you know, South Park did that episode of the Britney Spears one where they were like, they basically hassled Britney to death because the harvest, they needed to do it for the harvest. It was basically the lottery, but like we've got to ruin Britney Spears' life. And I'm like, I wonder, you know, how much of that is also true for
you got to wonder every Courtney Love. That was Kurt Cobain's wife.
Yeah, it was,
Michael Jackson. You do have to wonder now. I'd even wonder now to be a conspiracy theorist about Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
like things that when people commit suicide or die weird. Now you've got to kind of wonder what's going. There's anyway. That's
well, and I mean, and this is the worst part. It just feeds into with that and all the protest stuff we've got lately. It's like, geez, yeah, you're really doing a lot for the image of certain people controlling like the wealth of the world. You know what I mean? Like it's such an inane conspiracy theory, but it's like, but look at the actual flex of the power. It's like all these rich people are happy to use that as this guise for what they're doing.
They got nothing else they're going to have fun by anymore. So what can fun by? Yeah. There's now also I was going to quickly go through. 2013 was the year then the Cosby Suite.
Yeah, right.
So that was exposed in 2021.
Yeah.
And not much happened with it. There's just some payouts and just went away. Which is probably because of the buyout was coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's look. This is the company run by Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
And if you want to know any more about him, probably go check out Stephanie Sterling's videos. I'm not going to repeat what she says on those ones. But yeah, the court case did say that they had a frat. So you got Bobby Kotick chatting with Jeffrey Epstein. It shouldn't be unusual to anybody when the court documents said they had a frat boy culture. They made women work while the men played video games in the office.
Yeah.
They said that they had sexual banter and rape jokes and unwanted advances in the office.
Yeah.
The prominent executives engaged in blatant sexual harassment without repercussions. They would have cube crawls where the male employees would walk cubicle to cubicle, drinking alcohol and touching the female employees.
Yeah,
without consent.
That stuff's crazy. Like the idea of just actually straight up just like touching up the women in the office is insane.
a woman committed suicide on a. Am I still to sound alive? Anyway, it's on YouTube. We will be on YouTube on a business trip due to sexual harassment, including having nude photos shared. HR didn't keep any records of the complaints and actually helped or allegedly helped the managers punish him by moving the women to other areas or denying promotions or sacking them. Now, that was happening under Bobby Kotick's watch at Activision.
Yeah.
So it should be no surprise that him and Epstein were chatting.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to repeat anything that came out of the Epstein stuff. And that was actually the state of the gaming industry in 2013, just before what happened, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have a look now and say, if anybody involved in that had an inside knowledge, then they were absolutely. They probably should have shared it because they were actually these were problems, and Epstein was as it appears tight with the video game or with Activision.
It's so funny, right? Because everyone imagined he was this like honeypot guy, this creepy guy who was doing, but then the more fingers and the more pies and the more deals, you realize that he was a financier, like more than anything else. Like he was the fixer, the guy who got all these things.
He'd get you whatever you wanted.
Yes, exactly. Yep. But then you'd be in the. Oh no, sorry. I remember reading the news. The Russian honeypot, because he definitely not a CIA or Mossad honeypot.
They tried that so hard, and it was weird. It was actually
even amongst the base, it was like
it was beautiful to watch how it's like, oh yeah, television in Russia, is it?
Yeah.
It just didn't work. It didn't wash. Everybody kind of knows who it was.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're allowed to say it, everybody knows. It's pretty obvious.
We got to watch it nowadays. You're in Australia, you get 5 years jail.
That's why there's a mad rush right now to do the thing you're not allowed to mention, because the Epstein clients are all going to be gone soon. So they've got to do while they've got that leverage. That's my theory. Am I going to jail? Probably.
Yeah. Chris Minns is already kicking the door in, sending coppers to bash us. I hate Chris Minns.
He's a dear.
I hate Chris Minns.
Keir Starmer would be the most disappointing politician.
We don't talk about fucking Keir Starmer.
That would be the most disappointing. Melanescus hadn't really covered himself in glory. Although it looks like in the South Australian election, you're going to enjoy this. You're going to have to do the podcast like totally pantsless next time.
65% PP, like two party preferred.
They're estimating that the Liberals could be left with 0 seats in this. It's you're going to need some time alone.
I'm not so dumb as to go, oh well, you need a strong opposition. I hate that.
I actually think you do, but I know you're happy to see them go.
More the point is, like, does that opposition need to be the Liberals? And the answer is no.
Well, I'd agree with that.
If you turn around, the opposition suddenly became the Greens. Well, I mean, they're already obstructionists anyway. Like they're already the party that goes out of their way to cause trouble. So, like, at least it's like, all right, well, if we have to meet somewhere, let's meet somewhere on that side. But I mean, the modern Greens party isn't about.
Well, it could be One Nation.
I mean, but that's the problem.
The Yanks have put a lot of money into them.
Are we allowed to just talk about that? It is so obvious.
Give 5 minutes. I got some more stories.
It is so obviously a psyop from our 100%. Friends in America. Like, Pauline Hanson is a psyop.
They even use the same imagery. The old Trump imagery you used to see, Pauline Hanson's in there.
Let's do conspiracy theories for 2 seconds. All the coppers that were bashing, like, the Jewish protesters and the Muslim protesters had very Thomas Sewell style mustaches.
Oh yeah.
And I think
there's a shop you go to get them.
If you were to turn, like, let's say you saw Thomas Sewell at night and you put like a UV light on, he would glow from space. He would glow from fucking space. You cannot convince me that Thomas Sewell is not a CIA operative. The CIA loves Nazis.
Nazis, the Islamic fundamentalists, actual narco terrorists. The CIA loves that shit.
Still blows from space, and because
they're easy to control and they're stupid.
There's a reason he's being promoted over people like Cottrell. Do you know what I mean? Like who Cottrell's just an angry boy who can't fucking figure out where he's going. Sewell has, I don't know what maybe it's a malleability to his morals where he can be convinced to do X, Y, Z. But it's crazy that
the cops can cosplay as. He's easy to cosplay as. Cottrell was a little bit bigger. He was hard to cosplay.
Correct. Yeah.
He'd make you look like average size. He was a big boy.
My size. Yeah. I've seen him in.
He took a lot more steroids.
Yeah.
I saw him at the airport. I went, "Fuck, he's big."
And then the other one.
People who say they want to punch a Nazi, by the way, I've got to point out, like, you're all too gutless. If you actually meet a Nazi, you're not punching.
I
just got to point out
that is my big thing.
None of you heroes will.
There's that punk bar in Fitzroy that did a pretty good job where they all came out and started bashing the shit out of like the 12 boys in black tops, and I thought that was pretty funny. I'm a good like you're actually, but the thing, but you've got to remember that. Yes, I think the modern performative left is far too soft. You need to
Yeah, you get
be
wrecked.
you need to be doing push-ups. You need to be like it's very hard being an MMA fan that's also a staunch leftist because it's all on ramp and it's like you
Oh,
just
you're watching the Ronda Rousey and Gina Carino fight?
oh shit.
I don't know what that with the sound down.
Yeah, yeah.
Ronda Rousey and
Yeah, no,
well,
moral of the story is
they got my letters. That's what
yeah.
I'm happy about.
Yeah,
They got all my emails saying, please do this.
yeah. Moral story is it's very easy to put on Twitter, but it's much harder to do some push-ups and get yourself to that point where you're like, I mean,
You got to train it
there
hard
was
and
a,
physically.
there was a certain person in our industry, and I still remember it to this day, and it makes me so mad. This idea that they went rock climbing, so therefore they don't even know that they could. They don't even know how strong and stuff you are. It's like rock climbing is not the same as committing violence on human beings.
There's a lot of things we throw in here that anybody that knows.
It's gonna. I mean, but it's fine. but that's not even a reflection on that person. It's a reflection on the sycophants that surround them. Like everyone's too busy patting themselves on the back for doing fucking things. Like I'm telling you, learn to do push-ups. Learn to like. Don't get me wrong, I'm not in the fittest state, but like you can, like I'm willing to go down with the ship. You know what I mean? And that's the part with me at the moment is the left is so fractured, and the right is finally using their last chance to wedge us to separate all that kind of stuff. And they're using people like Sewell, and they're obviously using One Nation and stuff because they're right. There is a cost of living crisis, but the cost of living crisis is caused by the people like Pauline Hanson and fucking the Liberal Party, who, yeah.
On the subject of Microsoft and AI, do you remember I said that Steam was the real target
Yeah.
when they took away the RAM?
Yes.
Because OpenAI was actually being run by Microsoft effectively at the time, right? And so OpenAI was one that did the deal. And now the rumors are, I don't know if they're rumors or proven, Steam Deck apparently is no longer available.
Yeah.
They can't get RAM. And the Steam machine may not get released.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Because they can't get RAM or storage.
Yeah.
And I said that because because Microsoft and OpenAI were in bed together. Their target was Steam because they can't have a Steam machine. Because a Steam machine, everyone looked at and went, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Now everyone's ready for a new console. It's been like 6 years, right? But the main console makers aren't ready, right? And Microsoft doesn't even want to do a console because they just rather do the subscription.
Frog Allies and like semi-modular PCs and stuff like that.
Yeah, so now Steam's an interesting place. Now they're not in danger because they've still got they still run the whole gaming industry.
Yeah.
But they were absolutely the target. Now, another thing to do with PCs, they're talking now that RAM in future, because there's a shortage, which was engineered largely by Microsoft.
Yeah.
RAM might have to be soldered to the motherboard, as if that's a solution. Like in a Mac.
like a catalytic converter or something. Like someone's going to steal your laptop and steal your RAM.
This is going to get worse as I go. Don't worry. Strap in, right? So they're talking that now. The next one there will be CPUs. Just wait for that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so your RAM will be soldered to the motherboard, and chances are your CPU. So and that kind of does make PC building difficult.
Yeah.
The next one coming out is with all this ID stuff is in America, they've just introduced in some states laws or suggested laws that, and this has been backed by Zuckerberg, who said they should do it, that every computer should have age verification built in at the OS level, potentially hardware level, but at least the OS level, so that the applications above can then use the age verification there. And Zuckerberg's one pushing that, and it's been introduced in some states.
We categorically have proof, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are nasty pricks out there who access awful content and stuff like that. But we have proof that it is this same band of people who I guess what's the word I'm thinking of, systemically find, traffic, and molest children, and they're going on about you need to activate Discord. You need to send your government ID to a private company. Definitely not going to end up with.
I was going to get there. I was going to get
with Palantir, by the way. Insane.
Close from what I found, but yeah. But yeah, so they're going doing that to track you on your computer.
Yes.
Now it's kind of dumb because multiple people can use a computer.
Yes, absolutely.
So how do you do age verification if you got a family
But
computer?
as long as
You
you
go to
got a door to kick down, that's all they care
you go
about.
to university and there's shared computers at every university campus, right? But the target was always Steam. The target was always to stop. It's a lot like how Foxtel held back our internet until they were ready to put our KO on that, right? So right now, Microsoft is being way more evil than anybody realizes because they are scuttling Steam, and that's the target. And we're going to end up with the whole PC industry changing very quickly over the next few years.
So you remember how Xbox was always a project to bring Microsoft back into some kind of cultural goodwill, because they had all the antitrust stuff, they had all the stuff in Europe, all those kind of things, and then suddenly they started making games and stuff again. So it's always been a PR campaign of sorts.
And they also wanted DirectX. That's what's Xbox. Yeah. They wanted to get DirectX. They wanted to show DirectX could do stuff, right?
Yeah.
Also, Bill Gates apparently has always been really angry that it didn't boot into Windows.
Yeah,
and it was only because they had a time frame against the PlayStation the developer said, we don't have time to make it boot into Windows.
Yeah.
And imagine Xbox. Imagine if the Xbox 360 came. Like I know the Xbox came before. Imagine 360 with Windows instead of Blade. Well, and they took Blade away.
I mean, imagine Bill Gates was sending angry emails to Epstein complaining about that as well.
He was another one. Yeah, involved. These people are playing. There's only a small group of people making all these.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it, right? Like, but yeah, no, and I think that's the look. I hate all of this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, if you're a private company, you say to me you need to verify your thing. I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. So the amount of times I've just cancelled.
I'll jump to that in a moment. Then,
yeah, sorry, I don't mean to.
Well, see, last one sold random motherboards, and it'll soon be CPUs. If you want to make a unique hardware ID, that's one of the ways to do it.
Yeah,
because you can't track your.
Because you've got to track. Yeah. Well, it's similar. That's basically a console at that point, really.
But they're so stupid that they think it's like a phone. They think it's like an appliance. They don't understand a PC because they only use it for web browsing. And as far as I can tell from all the lawmakers in America, looking up kiddie porn and shit, right? Yeah. So anyway, because they don't seem to be bothered by it. Okay, well, you're talking age verification because this is all Discord. We need to talk. Remember when Discord was being accused for being a haven for Nazis because they didn't get on board with their Cool Kids Club at the CIA? Okay, so they're going to have mandatory age verification in March. And here's something. My daughter came to me a little while ago, and she actually said this. She goes, "If you don't verify your age, you are forced to only hang out with kids."
Yeah.
So if you're a pedo,
it's great.
Why would you verify your age?
Yeah.
Why would you give ID if you're a pedo? They're basically saying, "Oh, you're a pedo, but you don't want to tell us. Stand over there with the children."
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way to keep them safe. Aside from the fact that you alluded to before that the people claiming they want to keep kids safe on the internet are literally fucking kids.
Yeah.
They're also saying if you don't verify you're an adult, we'll lock you in with the children.
Yeah.
These people are so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, this is always the thing. That's the thing that annoys me. We're going to talk about left and right again. Like, oh my god, yeah, Trump's such an idiot. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's getting exactly what he wants. He's putting that respectable shit sheen.
He's racing Elon to be a trillionaire at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's one of those things with Vadim. Like, there was always talk about how much money does Vladimir Putin actually have, and Trump's like, well, I want to beat that number now. Then maybe I can buy back my my compromat. You know what I mean? Like it's and
he's going to retire to Trump Gaza and basically live on the souls of dead people.
Yeah. Literally the end. I mean, this is all antichrist shit, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. Like, if you had an actual belief system that had the antichrist as part of it, I mean, he is hitting so many of these markers. Like, and all it is just a conversation of the fall of empires and the avarice that comes with these.
They used to make movies about this. Remember the Omen movies? And that? One of them was about the president.
Yeah, and the sea that never settles, or whatever it is, and that's literally politics. Yeah, and this is exactly what I'm saying. Like it's, I mean, look, all religious beliefs are farce. We don't need to go into that any further. The only saint I want watching over me is Saint Christopher Hitchens, and he's gone now too. So he's dead in the ground, unfortunately.
They asked me about that. They said, "How do you feel?" Because they were expecting him to be like, "Oh no, I'm really sad. I'm just going to die and be nothing." He said, "I'm going to die and be nothing." That's what it is. Mind you, he left a fair legacy.
Yeah.
Although he's being forgotten. So,
and we have, and that is probably, I would say, you want to talk about this, is insidiousness of attacking the youth. Number one, there's a sense of hopelessness. So therefore, the more hopeless people are, the less control people have over their lives, the more they want to look for a higher power to attribute that to, and that works for them very well. And on top of that, like they do push religions, and they push soulmates, they push God. Like even you watch Instagram reels and be like very relevant points about psychology. Then the same channel will talk about, yeah, you've just got to believe that God has a plan for you. It's like, God don't have a plan for fucking no one.
You know what you should do? You remove SNAP benefits so people don't have food, and then you tell them that the place they can get
Yeah,
food is their
absolutely.
local
And
church.
that is literally
And they go to church for
that
food.
is literally missionary 101. You know what I mean? Like, and this is
That's
this is that thing. Like the one thing the atheist left failed to do was, or the atheist whatever failed to do, was build that sense of community. We let the American individualists dictate what atheism looked like, what let secularism looked like, and that's why you have these communities rushing back to religion through necessity, and then through, well, these are the only people who are kind to me. Maybe there's something to this, and then they bring them in, and that's how it
Imagine
goes.
if Eurasia was like Muslims,
Yeah,
and East Asia was like Jews,
yeah,
and Oceania was like Christians, and you
yeah,
had those three like just anyway, just a
yeah,
breakup. Yeah. Hey, on that topic,
yeah,
so Discord reckons that they originally said they would only store your identity stuff on your local device.
yeah.
Then within 2 days, they revealed that not really. They may take your stuff for what they called experiments, which is a weird thing to say. Then, now, okay, I'll
So
go back.
you know, there's a rumor they're going IPO as well. That's why they're doing
They're
it.
absolutely going IPO.
Okay.
Yeah. It might be a room, but yeah, that's why it's going, because they're trying to beef up. Okay. So only last year they had 70,000 accounts leaked,
Yeah.
right, by hackers. So now they're taking the ID, government ID, and stuff as well. The Discord CEO worked under Bobby Kotick.
Yep.
So
I did know
what's
that.
the name again?
Yeah.
This is the Bobby Kotick podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, now here we go. So, look, I may be wrong here, but as far as I can ascertain, Discord plans to use Persona, a third-party verification app company. You'll never guess where they're based.
Yeah.
And you'll never also guess who one of the big investors is. Peter Thiel, who was the guy that funded Hulk Hogan to destroy Gawker, which was the center of you-know-what.
And it was the singular only.
It's all the same people over and over again.
It's so tough because there will be records of me saying, like, this was before we knew how much of a menace Peter Thiel was, but fuck, I hated Gawker, and I still hate Gawker. It's the only thing he's ever done. It's like when Trump pulled us out of the pulled out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It was the only good thing he ever did, and he didn't do it for the right reasons. Like, he did it because he wanted to be greedy, and like, with the fact that we had investor-state dispute system for IP and medicine, get the fuck out.
BYD's going after America under a similar thing for lost profits now because of tariffs. Yeah, look, I can watch Collingwood play Essendon, and I don't have to like either of them, right? I can even think one's going to win. I can tip one. Doesn't mean I like either of them, right?
Yeah.
Peter Thiel. Now, Gawker were idiots, and they pushed it, their luck, right?
Yeah.
But Peter Thiel, he popped up there, and Gawker wrote the article about him as gay. I don't know why that bothered him. I don't know why they had to do it. And then that started
and realistically,
down an interesting part. And all these names keep coming up. It's a circle.
And it's one of those things, like, because the leftists were big on blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but surely we should be against like outing people who may be keeping it. And obviously he doesn't have to worry about any repercussions of it. Like, he was so wealthy at that point, it's beyond it. But I'm like, doesn't really set a great precedent when you're outing people, you know?
I don't think you should. I think if you're media, and this is where Gawker's, they weren't pleasant plays, right? They were, what they were doing to media.
I feel no sympathy for Nick Denton is all I'll say.
I can't have sympathy, but it's not, media can't be just outing people as gay, because it's not anyone's business.
Yeah.
And so they have a sublime. Mind you, Peter Thiel is the Antichrist.
Yes, Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist as well. Yeah.
I mean, the Antichrist is gay. How about that?
Yeah.
So,
what? All right, calm down. Fucking hell, Adolf. Yeah.
It's for the evangelicals out there.
Yeah.
But no, Peter Thiel is the Antichrist. They shouldn't have outed him. But then also he used Hulk Hogan and the sex. Gawker should have taken the sex tape down. They pushed it too far. They died. They didn't even have enough money, because $4 million is all it took to bankrupt them.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, and like I say, the leftist media space has been co-opted. This idea that anything in the media currently is left is just nonsense to me.
There's no left. There's no anti-war left.
Nah.
Hey, there's a game on Steam called Epstein Island, and one of the reviews is funny. It says, I like this game. It reminds me of a childhood.
Oh,
bad taste joke, but I laughed. Okay, now talking games. since that's all we talk
On that
about.
note, yeah, yeah.
But you know, it's the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
It's a, and if you look back at 2013, I think it is worth saying that, considering what happened in 2014 and what has happened for gaming generally, you couldn't say gaming's gotten better since
Yeah.
2013. It kind of peaked in those early 2010s.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I might have the timing wrong, but you had like games like BioShock and this stuff like that. The gaming then. I know there's Helldivers now, but
Mhm.
Helldivers wasn't really a big studio AAA
No,
one.
I mean, it's a double A game. I wouldn't even consider it a triple A game now.
Yeah, so and you look at you look at what's happened to the traditional, the source of all their games, and outside of Nintendo, it's been a disaster.
Yeah, and even Nintendo's doing some silly stuff lately, so
Well, I don't know where they're going to go after Switch 2, to be
yeah.
honest. Okay,
The lucky thing is Switch 2 has a bit of a technological buffer in it, and I think this RAM shortage has coincided with a lack of, how do I say it? We've hit kind of the ceiling before you get to like IRL realism with video games. Do you know what I mean? Like we've hit that artistic ceiling with it. So realistically, it doesn't kind of matter what we're upgrading. We're still using it on the wrong things, but I think that's going to take such a mental cultural shift, and this may precipitate that. So that would be the one upside of them suddenly, blanching our markets. But yeah, I don't know. The arms race has to stop eventually.
Well, as I was talking before about the PC stuff, they're gonna destroy the PC market,
Yeah,
and that is absolutely a plan. And you know what? There's no doubt there's people like Epstein and Kotick emailing each other right now
yeah,
about how to do that.
yeah,
And one of them is Scam Altman
yeah,
because he absolutely has screwed Steam, and I still reckon Steam was a target. This RAM stuff's bullshit,
yeah.
absolute bullshit, because the data centers ain't even built yet,
And
so they don't even need the RAM.
they're hassling the Australian government. They're like, oh, we actually need access to all of this intellectual property, otherwise our system won't run. It's like, well, then maybe it's a crime. Maybe it's a crime. If it's breaking the laws, maybe it's a crime.
The ghost of Aaron Schwartz says they can all get fucked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically,
Yeah.
so Google that one, everybody listening. So anyway, I was talking Nintendo.
Mm,
Virtual Boy games are on the Switch
yeah,
too. But do you know what's more interesting? And this will get us a letter from Nintendo's lawyers if they listen. Big hello, Nintendo. You can actually play Virtual Boy games on your 3DS
yes,
with 3D turned on, which is far more interesting. Google how to do that. Don't bother too much. The Switch 2 is nice, but I don't see why you would just play red games on
yeah.
your Switch 2
It's a bit
unless
of a
you're like
meme, yeah,
Russian or something.
yeah.
Like
Ah, easy.
so no,
Like notorious Russian Jeffrey Epstein, yeah,
KGB ad. I know.
yeah,
But yeah, check them out on your 3DS because you can play Virtual Boy games in 3D the
yeah.
way they were meant to be. Okay. Oh, did you know there's a John Wick game coming for the PlayStation
Oh,
5,
I did hear that.
which is cool. Another game for PlayStation because it's been 6 years and they've got 15 exclusives.
yeah.
This console generation's stuffed.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. Like the funniest part was you could see how they tried to put the hooks into Helldivers, and they've resisted it as well as they can. But like Sony are trying to leverage that. It's like this was always going to be a good moderate earner for you because it's a fair game. Like I can go and chuck on a bunch of trivial maps and go help some noobs play. And farm up super credits, which is the real currency. So the real currency is how you buy the new weapons and stuff like that. So the
Are we on
super credits,
Helldivers?
yeah,
'Cause you done like my son does. You just dove. You're going to talk about Helldivers another 2 hours now.
No.
He
I'll
does.
wrap it up. I mean, look, we literally just had the Cyberstan invasion, which was unbelievably fun. They're still producing good content, but you can also just go fuck it. Like every battle pass or whatever, what they call war bond is $15 Australian. So it's like if you're working a real job or whatever, $15. It's like for the amount of fun I'll get out. If I get 50 hours of gameplay out of this weapon or this fun thing that I'm doing,
Better value than a movie.
yeah, and it never ties off. All the baseline weapons, all the baseline arsenal is enough for you to play the game competently. It's whether you want to do silly builds and stuff like that, or you want to spec into something specific. Blah blah blah. There's very few of the war bonds that are must haves, and I think you would earn enough credits over 100, 200 hours of gameplay to get 2 or 3 decent war bonds. And you just you get the ones that you want and you do it. Whereas me, I own all of them because I enjoy the game and I'm happy to throw them in. Like I still earn enough super credits over the time I play. And then occasionally a war bond will come out. Maybe I need to bump it up by 100 or whatever. That's like $4. I'm like, yeah, I'll give you $4. I'm gonna have enough fun with this to justify $4. And so it's like I like that method. Like, yeah, you're still holding content behind thing, but it's like it's fine. Like I don't have to do this. I could just go and farm for 5, 10 hours and I'm gonna make the same amount of money. It's the same thing for Dota. Like Dota, you could play the whole game without paying a single cent. Fine with me. It's when it's these very specifically incentivizing you to have to pay to play more of the game or experience. You could have done the whole of Cybersand, which was new environments, new enemies, new campaign, all that stuff, and you did not have to really pay a cent outside of the original $50.
Well, I mean, gaming with microtransactions is as the pedophiles envisaged it.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how deep that net goes, and we've only released what is like 4%
I'm
of the
just here with a quick look around. There's a circular thing. There's the same people popping up.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was around 2013 as well.
Yeah.
Really interesting time. Anyway, hey, so I can't believe there hasn't been a John Wick game already. I was gonna say.
Well, yeah, no, I was surprised. I mean,
Seems obvious.
the Sony State of Play recently was a good one. DOA 7 was announced and a bunch of other random stuff. So it's like, yeah, occasionally there's games. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But it must be said that I play so many more indie games even than I used to, and I played a lot in the old days. But I play so many more nowadays than I do.
Death Stranding 2's out in under a month.
Isn't it already been out?
19th of March.
Isn't it already out? Or do you mean on what, on Xbox or something?
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah.
I just read it on the thing. Okay, here's one for you. The French government
has the Frenchies.
The Frenchies, the cheese eating surrender monkeys. Mind you, they actually
still the best win loss ratio in all of you.
I know. Yeah, but I mean, 99% that's Napoleon.
Yeah, that's true.
He might have been good.
He hard carried. He
was good at his job. Although he still couldn't get Russia. The only country that's ever beaten Russia in a war is Russia.
Yeah, pretty much.
the only country they've ever lost to in a war is themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
So
team kill, yeah.
Big hello to Zelensky.
Good luck, matey.
Good luck, boy. Yeah. Anyway, so the French government, the cheese eating surrender monkeys, have awarded Expedition 33 devs 28 members of, is it Sandfall Interactive?
Yes.
Is that right?
I think it is.
28 of them are now, they got knighthoods.
Nice.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah. Now, I as an Irishman, Irish descent, I hate the royal family with a passion. I hate anything to do with royals, but I think that's cool.
Well, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor got a car ride recently, which was nice.
But you noticed that Prince Andrew got arrested for sharing information about a bank, but not all the raping.
Yeah, funny that.
Now, that tells you everything you need to know about what they really think. And it's a show thing; they're just going to back off on it. They just did it for fun.
I mean, the Frenchies are Gauls. That's pretty close to the Celts, so there is that connection.
I wander across there.
Yeah. And then, but no, look, I'm all for. Look, I mean, that's good, and I'm glad that we're. I mean, to be fair to France, like
my family used to be royals in Ireland.
I mean, so did everyone. Was related to King Brian Boru, right? So, but yeah, no.
So I'll give myself a knighthood. Yeah, we did. We did family crest once when I was I think in early uni, and two of my friends, big hello to Woodhead, Mark Woodhead, and Brett Stablin and friends, not to dox them, but we were looking up our family crest, right? And the McDermott one has 3 boar heads, right? And we thought they were dragons, and we looked them up, and I'm going, fuck yeah, dragons. And so Woodhead looked his up, and his is a tree, right? And he goes, oh, you got dragons. I got a fucking tree. But it means strength and stability, and he's a solid, strong boy, right? Yeah. And Stablin didn't have one because he wasn't from the same area, so we actually made him one. We just printed off a picture for stapler. Nice. I said, here you go, here's yours. But I got dragons.
Well, to be fair to the French, like
big hello to Brett and Mark.
they've always been good at recognizing the value, the contribution of arts. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone thinks of English speaking territories as the most weeby outside of Japan, but it's always been France. France has always been the biggest kind of individual secondary market for manga and things like that. There's always France. I mean,
France,
and they've had a lot of collaborations. I mean, France has its own comic scene and things like that. And obviously, it's less well known on the wider thing. But I mean, think of Tintin.
I thought my own daughter would be propping up Australia's average manga and anime intake on her own.
I think Tintin's Belgique, but like Asterix and Obelix and all that kind of stuff.
Asterix when I was young.
Like, yeah. And so it's always had that, and it's always appreciated that, and there's always been like movies and things that cover like is it Japanese? No, it's not Japanese. There's a whole like artistic movement from like kind of turn of the century that was based around the French interactions with the Japanese advertising and things like that. So, they've always been pretty good ones that are good for respecting art for art's sake. It's less about how much it sells and how much it contributes to the culture. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good sign. I'm glad that we do stuff like that, because that definitely wouldn't happen it wouldn't happen in Australia, let alone America or something like that. It
Or
would always
getting a
be
knighthood.
how many units? Well, I mean, you have to wait for Tony Abbott to get a knighthood, but like,
Yeah, no.
how many units did it sell? That would be
He
the first
gave it. He
question.
gave a Nazi a knighthood.
Yeah, I mean,
No, in Australia we wouldn't for video game deals,
Yeah.
no matter what they made, because glory in Australia is reserved for footy
yeah,
players.
yeah.
Yeah, but if I got a knighthood, I'd be that is cool. I'm against all the royal stuff, but if I got a knighthood, I'd be happier than a divorced man in a room full of Asian girls.
Oh,
It'd be wrapped.
So, so,
That'd
so,
be
so
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 cool.
is that you stating your intention to run for Pauline Hanson One Nation? Well, yeah.
Uh,
Ah,
give me Tony, boy, give me a knighthood.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for
Well,
services.
the rumor is
Services to podcasting and
he's
casual
gonna run
racism.
again. He's gonna run somewhere again. We'll see.
He'll turn up in One Nation. They're all because the
That's
Yanks
true.
are shifting them all in
If
One
he,
Nation,
if he went to, I think genuinely, if Tony Abbott went to One Nation, that would be. I think at that point the Liberals do not recover.
which is funny because he jailed Pauline Hanson.
Yeah,
She's our only ever
I've said it
political
to
prisoner.
so many people. I'm like, it's so hilarious to me that they're the ones that put her in jail originally, and they just can't put her in jail again.
You're just saying, don't get too uppity.
Yeah.
You work for us.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. Yeah, it's always funny to think that's our level of.
And did you see the One Nation votes gone up by roughly what the Liberal vote dropped by?
Funny that.
And then they go, they're appealing. The One Nation's appealing to Labor's heartland of working vote. And I don't know, the Labor vote still looks the same.
Yeah, I mean, they're going in on Jacinta
God, they're
hard,
lying.
and it's been nice to see Jacinta push back. Like, did you see that one where she was asking her a question? She's kind of just sitting there like,
Which one? Which Jacinta?
Jacinta Allen, the one,
Who's she?
the Victorian Premier.
Oh yeah, cool, gotcha.
Which one's she? Did you mean Ardern? Did you think I was? Yeah. Anyway,
I was wondering.
She hasn't been in for nearly 10 years. Anyway,
She's one of my wife's favorite people.
sure.
Loves
And
her
then
and Julia. She loves Julia.
anyway,
She got a photo with Wax Julia, and she sent it to her family going, "I met Julia," and
nice.
her brothers didn't like that.
Sure they did. But no, because there was, and they're asking a question about it was a serious question. I can't remember what it was, but it was about the big build or something like that, and all the $15 billion corruption, which is an absolute like made up statement by Watson. Like he has no evidence to back it up, but that's not what you're going to hear in the media.
No,
And then
I don't need evidence.
she was like, you could see her thinking about her answer, how she was going to answer it. She goes, "You seem disinterested." She's like, "I'm just going to stop the press conference there. I'm going to ask you to retract that last statement. Like I was thinking of how I'm going to answer your question, and I refuse to continue to engage with you if you're going to make statements
You got
like
to have an Angus Taylor style rehearsed line.
yeah.
Mr. Speaker.
And then she's like, well, and then she goes, no, we can just stop the press conference right now. It's fine. She goes, I'm going to take your silence as a retraction, and we're just going to move on. And I was just like, fucking do that. Get into them. You know what I mean? They're never going to be kind to you. The least you can do is try and buck the narratives and get a reputation. Like, but people hate Dan Andrews apparently, but I tell you right now, people prefer Dan Andrews over anyone just letting the media get away with it.
People overseas might not get this, but here in Australia, I mean, if you ever doubted, remember the old thing about gamers versus media.
Yeah.
If you ever doubted the media is just scum,
Yeah,
check out Australian political media.
middle upper kids trying to preserve their wealth is what it is now.
Just check out Australian.
That's why the only good journalists.
Australian media is so bad.
The only random journalists you find that are any good are usually either come from middle or working class upbringings.
Yeah,
and have the ability to do that.
But now it's all internships.
Yeah.
And the only reason they do that is to filter poor people out.
Yeah, get rid of the pause. Yeah, pretty much.
And so then you got class solidarity.
And that was the thing.
That's stronger than
that was the promise of the early social media internet was like, oh, you don't need to rely on the old media to do it. It's like, but now the old media is in bed with the new media. Well, you got no hope.
But the Liberals forced the new media to pay old media to prop them up. They should have let them die. And Labor should have cancelled that whole deal. Which means there's more going on there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But old media should have been allowed to just wither away.
Yeah, agreed.
But when you have your war, you need the newspapers.
Yeah, that's true. Get them on board. We got probably time for one more.
I'm out of them.
Yeah, nice. Okay, sweet. Well, that's an hour. That's basically dead on an hour.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about
good. No, good.
I'm actually keen to see the John Wick game.
Look, I mean, there's a few games I'm actually looking forward to, but it's just so tough to be invested in games at the moment that aren't indie stuff because like it's just always the same things. Like if I'm going to play a game as a service, I'm going to go play Helldivers. If I'm going to play, there's a bunch of other stuff I'll play, but Yeah.
Microsoft's dead. Microsoft.
Yeah, but yeah,
And it's not like Sony's doing great.
no. No, but they're just doing less worse. It's like they were stumbling to the grave to fall in, and Microsoft just ran past them, pushed him out of the way, and said,
Yeah.
"No, me first," and jumped in. And
They did they did a hold my beer meeting.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
It's like Sony's like, oh, we don't know what we're doing. We're gonna like
Yeah.
go out of business at some point because we just can't give. And Microsoft would hold my beer. I mean, Microsoft won't go to business because they make so much money on all the other crap. But holy crap, the Xbox brand is just. Yeah, I might be wrong, like I was with Sony, but I can't see the Xbox brand being around in 5 years.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't even think they want it to be. I honestly think they would just like every TV. You start up your TV, you turn on the Xbox app, and you watch a few ads, and then you play like 5 minutes of some casino game, buy a few things on your credit card, and then stop playing after 10 minutes. That's what they want.
It is so funny, right? Because I listen to a fair few podcasts lately, and they'll all do the ad read at kind of 20 minutes, and I don't mind a 30-second or a minute ad read. I understand there's certain realities that exist, right? It's fine. But it's so crazy to me how much they just shoehorn ads into everything, and then they'll just start content, and then it'll be the middle of an ad. I will report every channel that does that. If you don't diverge in the first 10 seconds that you're doing an ad read, or like you're doing an ad, I'm not interested. And not even an ad read. You just be like, oh, here's this situation I found myself in. Do you know what really helps? This thing. I'm like, you motherfucker. Yeah. Like, I report all those channels.
One of the most disappointing parts of new media is they never worked out a way to monetize other than the way we did on TV.
Yeah.
And it's lame. And it goes to show that so many people just crossed over from those other media and they just had no new ideas.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, what should we do on YouTube videos? How do we make money? Oh, we'll just put ads in. And is that all you can think of?
That was one thing I heard. I was listening to Dan Soder's podcast, and he's talking about because he's obviously worked in comedy for a long time. He's worked in radio. He's done like all the Comedy Central special guests. In the old days, trying to get ideas, there was always this one person who'd interfere, and there'd be death by 1,000 cuts and all that kind of stuff. And it was interesting seeing where those people ended up. Like they'll be head of digital content or something else. It's like they bring those old ideas, and then they wonder why it's not happening. And he was talking about like Shane Gillis did their sitcom, that he basically took his money from his first marketing tour, paid to have Tyre season 1 made, and then when he went to Netflix, he got to say, "We own it. We have creative control. You get to monetize it. And you get to send it exclusively through your platform, but we own it." And they were like, "Yep." And it's like that's what he said. Like for all the talk of Netflix, it's like they really are the least worst thing at the moment. And that's saying something. So
yeah, they made shit Stranger Things.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the consensus.
And don't get me started on the Star Trek show that's on at the moment. Okay, I know we're going over an hour. Why the fuck are people in wheelchairs in a couple hundred years in the future? Okay, here's another one. Why are the women in Star Trek wearing skirts? You might be in zero gravity. What fuck? Why not? Why aren't they wearing pants?
Yeah.
Why you got anyone in a skirt on a spaceship?
And it is. I mean, obviously, so the skirt one, like it could be.
Why is he in a wheelchair? There's no way that won't be fixed in 300 or 400 years.
Fixed? Are you ableist? What are you saying that they're broken and they're not?
Okay, find me a person in a wheelchair that says, I've been in a wheelchair.
I know.
Like I hope I never walk again. Find me one that says that honestly.
That's that overt positivity that sucks on the other end. Like it is that thing of. We should be making sure
we should take care of him and help him.
Yeah,
but none of them want to be there.
Yeah,
sorry.
No.
But why the fuck that you're saying space?
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Spaceships. We can't do that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's that thing of there is that reality of
why is the captain not wearing shoes?
What do you mean not wearing?
It's a military ship.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine walking in? Can you imagine going on to one of the US ships? Yeah. And just taking his shoes off, walking around. Can you imagine what your commanding officer would do?
That'd be something like Patton or something would do for sure. Like he'd have some weird.
You would have to be the top one.
Yeah.
Pete Hicks would be upset because he likes all their soldiers to be buff and dress well
without shirts.
Totally not gay.
Yeah.
Big, handsome, manly soldiers.
The weirder one was still RFK and Kid Rock in the sauna on the exercise bike on the elliptical.
How's a hologram work?
I mean, it reflects light through a mist or
okay, why is it walking around everywhere, like traveling places and shit?
Look, because someone has it in their pocket. Look,
it's got it in their pocket. Yeah. Who's carrying around the transmitter for the hologram? Did the hologram just go anywhere?
Yeah, just.
How did the hologram get shot when they had like a shootout, like in a game thing they did? How'd the hologram get shot?
Look.
How the fuck do you shoot a hologram?
Look.
This show is so dumb.
Let's be clear.
That is right? Dumb. Star Trek is for morons.
Let's be clear. yeah, I hate the world we live in. Yeah, we with the idea of victim blaming.
I can't say that word.
We didn't believe all these stories, and we found out they're true, and we should hold our heads in collective shame. But you watched modern Star Trek. You turned on modern Star Trek and said, "I would like to engage with this content." It's like watching modern Star Wars. Like, I just have to assume that you've got a humiliation kink or a masochist kink or something, because, like, why would you do it? Why would you ever do it? Why would you think that Star Trek and Star Wars in 2026 is not going to be dog shit? Like,
It
I
used to be
have
good.
to blame you.
It used to be
Like,
good. Even Picard was shit.
yeah.
I haven't even watched
I
third
mean,
seasons.
everyone keeps telling me to watch Andor. I'm like, no, like, I'm not. I refuse to give.
It's supposed to be good, but now Star Wars. See, Star Wars and Star Trek got taken over by people that didn't know what they were,
Yeah.
and so now what they do is, because here's my theory why it's so shit, right? The studios won't make an original product.
No.
So when they go, I want to make a space drama about a bunch of teens who have a war college and a Star Trek, and they get with each other, and blah, it's all teen drama. Whoa, how exciting! They go, oh, you can't make that, and they go, well, what if we call it Star Trek? All the Star Trek idiots will watch it. They go, yeah, they're morons. They'll watch anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here I am. But anyway, it's
And here I am. Correct.
but Star Wars people are worse. Star Wars people in Disney are in an abusive relationship with each other.
That is also
and
true.
they won't leave. Oh man.
Anyway,
I can still watch the glory days.
Now that you've specifically called out Maddie, like,
call that up on Facebook friends list with
but no, look, I mean, you couldn't convince me to watch new Star Trek. Like, it just would not happen. Like, yeah.
Why did you do it? Why do you do it? I love science fiction. I want science fiction. I crave good. Give me more Expanse and more Battlestar Galactica. Even Battlestar Galactica had its moments which weren't very good, but give me more of that. Why do you keep hurting me?
I would rather you fail artistically than succeed through focus testing. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you try something and fail, I would rather you do that than going, oh, we're going to hit all these metrics and hit all these markers, and that's how we know it's going to be a success. I'm like, well, that's not how that really fucking
works. They had warp slugs, all right? And the warp slugs can go warp speed.
Yeah.
And they go around warp speed and they leave goo everywhere. Why aren't you pulling them apart, working out how they work?
Yeah. So you can just put them in a reactor.
Why don't you have them in, like, because all the dilithium crystals died because some guy was in love with it and it had a sad attack and they exploded all over the galaxy, which is weird because the Romulans didn't use them. So Romulans should basically now be the gods. Yes. They'd be like the Laconian Empire in Expanse.
Yeah. That's right. Just take your time, get past it, but understand that you're.
No, but you can't tell me the warp slugs have to be pulled apart by every scientist in the whole place to work out how the fuck they warp.
Yeah, exactly. And you could even do an episode on the morals about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would be a nice little bottle episode.
No, because you got to have people like almost kiss. Because it says, I really care what teens fucking do. Oh man, teen relationships is so. I mean, relationships.
Yeah, it sounds like it's on CW. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, on that note, what a way to end it.
I hope we were going to be done. I hope the military college don't prank the kids in the other one.
We were going to be done at 1 hour. It's funny how that's gone. So while I remember, yes,
they had a portal you could warp to anywhere in the universe.
Fuck. Don't forget to come to the Game Expo, which is in March 14th and 15th. There's tickets still available. Then we'll obviously have Glitch, and we'll have something.
You can come and complain to me about stuff
and your website and stuff. Like, yeah, you've been working hard, and people can just maybe you should send up a form so people can have all their questions ready to go, so you can complain about it later.
I'm surprised I've been asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, and yeah, so we'll see you there. There's a Glitch on the Saturday night afterwards, and there's also going to be something on the Friday night. So keep it clear if you're into chiptunes or old school music.
Oh,
video game music. On that note, I think we should go. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
Go to a best Star Trek.
You can't. You can just go rant off the thing. Like, yeah, watching you just like swerve in between, like, you know what? Fuck yeah.
I'm going to rant in my car all the way home.
I'm sure your daughter's going to have great fun. On that note, we'll let you go. Hopefully we get.
I already ranted to her.
Yeah, I believe it.
I was driving home from the station.
I believe it. But yeah,
again.
We'll see you all soon. Hopefully we'll be able to record one while I'm overseas. But if not, I'll see you after the Game Expo. But yeah, make sure you do check out gameexpo.com.au or is .com. You should know. You run a website.
Yeah, gameexpo.com. Thegameexpo.com.
Perfect.
I think I'll link the gamesexpo.com because we originally did that, but turned out that spells something else.
Yeah.
It works.
Susan Anal, yeah.
The Susan album party style thing. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Bye.